Hello, Wolfpack, back here on Bitcoin today. I've been getting a lot of trash talk recently about the fact that I don't think the bottom is in on Bitcoin. I've got many reasons for that. I'm going to be going over a few in the video, but I also need to go over something that might come as a bit of a surprise to you, right? I need to go over my invalidation point. My invalidation point on Bitcoin, and I'm going to do it first and foremost just to get it out of the way so you guys can, settle down a little bit, right? I'm not a perm bear. I'm not permanently bearish. Right? I've been bearish since up here. You guys know already. 63 to 66k November 2021, right? Just because I'm bearish down here at 20k still doesn't mean I'm a perm bear, right? It means I avoided a 66% drop. That's what it means. But what we've got here, macro uptrending support line, and this is actually the main topic of the video that I want to get into because I think a lot of people need to know about it. They don't know much about it. And if you're asking why I'm wearing gloves, don't ask. We've got this macro uptrending support line stemming from that 2015 retest in August, and then also from the COVID drop here in 2020. And right now it's acting as support. Okay, and you might think, well, that's a good reason to think the bottom's in, right? Well, if you're taking away the macro situation, right? Because macro situation, we know it's bad. There's no surprise in that. There's rumors about how CPI could be lower next month, which could be some sort of bottom indicator. But at that point, I'm thinking there's going to be a Q4 bottom. Next month is August. That's a month and a half away from Q4. So look, I'm not really too concerned about being incorrect here. We're getting very, very, very close to Q4 to the point where, if I'm incorrect about my Q4 prediction, it's almost Q4. But what I can be sure of, and what I can be slightly confident about is the fact that, I simply just don't think the bottom is in yet, right? And even if it comes as a wick, right? Even if it comes as a wick below the macro support, a retest of, say, I don't know, even the 300-week SMA, okay, this blue line that we tested during the COVID drop, even the 300-week SMA, even a 16.8k retest a week, and we come back up after a day. Yeah, I think that's possible. I still don't think the bottom is in. Why? I simply do not see how Bitcoin could see a V-shaped recovery, right? And I simply do not see how we could see sideways consolidation. Those are the only two options, right? Because if we saw, before the bottom, those are the only two options. If we saw the bottom being in here, right? Say you think the bottom's in, you'd have to see either a bounce or sideways for a long period of time and then a bounce without testing the lows, right? That's typically not how bottoms are formed. If you look at the bear market in 2018 here, it was a rounded bottom. We retested below, right? 2015 bear market, a rounded bottom. We retested below. We retested below, almost, 8 months later after the first retest. It just gives you an idea of how long it can take before you retest for lows. I do think we're going to be retesting the lows again at 17.5k. I think we're going to be going below 17.5k. If I had to guess, I'd say we even have a chance of going to 12 to 14k. But I'm not going to get too overly bearish yet, because what I do understand, and this is where we get into the interesting part where I talk about my validation, what I do understand is that we do have a macro uptrending support line, that yellow line, and we do need to take it seriously, right? And me saying and sitting here, we're going to drop below it, yeah, I think we are. Right? I think we are. I think we're going to drop below it. I think if I had to guess, I'd say we drop below it, right? But I'm not going to sit here and deny the whole premise of TA. The whole premise of TA, the whole premise of trading, and the way I trade personally in my VIP group is I'm a breakout trader. So I don't care whether we break below it or whether we stay above it. It doesn't bother me, because that wouldn't affect my financial decisions. My financial decisions will be made if we break down or if we break above, right? And what am I saying? What are you saying break above for? Well, what I mean by that is if we break above the 200-week SMA. That's where I get into my invalidation point. This is my invalidation point on Bitcoin for my bear market kind of predictions, right? So if I had to guess, I'd say, we break down below this macro uptrending line. We go to 12 to 14k, somewhere around there in Q4, and then we form some sort of rounded bottom formation. We come back up and we do something like that. That would be my best guess, right? But I need to have an invalidation point because I'm a trader. You need an invalidation point. And my invalidation point is stemming from a 200-week SMA. What are we seeing here? We are seeing compression in the price for the first time in Bitcoin's entire history, of course, between the 200-week SMA, which is the strongest, right? And you can say all you want, but this is the objective reality of the situation, which is the strongest macro support and resistance moving average on Bitcoin in the entire price history of Bitcoin. The 200-week SMA is the moving average for Bitcoin. We are seeing compression between the moving average, the 200-week SMA on Bitcoin, and this macro uptrending support line. And so what we can expect is consolidation. Eventually it's going to get to a point where you can't consolidate anymore. We're too compressed, and we will break out either to the downside or to the upside. Now, if we break out to the upside and we get back above the 200-week SMA, we come back down and flip it, that, in my opinion, would be confirmation that the bottom will be in. And the perfect part about this, and people are going to get so annoyed when I say this because they don't like this kind of stuff, but the perfect part about it is that if Bitcoin was to break out, right, above a 200-week SMA and confirm the bottom, in my opinion, right, and close a weekly candle above a 200-week SMA, confirm the bottom, we would be buying at 23K, which is so close to the macro bottom on Bitcoin. So even in the worst case scenario where I'm completely wrong, right, the bottom didn't come in Q4, the bottom's actually in right now, and even in the worst case scenario when I miss the whole bottom and I have to buy at, a little bit higher, I'm still buying at a 22K Bitcoin. That is ridiculously cheap for an invalidation of a prediction. So I'm very, very, very happy with the situation right now. In my opinion, there's simply no way it can go wrong, right? Because buying at 22 or 23K, it's really not a problem to me. I don't see that as problematic at all. And then on the other hand, if we break down, well, we'll just buy at 12 to 14K like expected. So the situation on Bitcoin, like in terms of the price, obviously looks terrible and the macro situation looks very, very bad. But in terms of us as investors seeking return on investment, it's such a good situation. It really is such a good situation. And when you're involving these macro support lines, like the 200-week SMA, like the macro uptrending support line, if you're buying above those lines, and say we flip the 200-week SMA, you're buying above a 200-week SMA, you've got so much support that you barely need to worry about the situation at all, right? So say we flip the 200-week SMA, we get back above it, you buy Bitcoin because you think the bottom's in, right? Because we flip the 200. Now, not only do you have the 200-week SMA to hold you for support above your buy price, but you also have this macro uptrending line to hold you for support above your buy price. So you couldn't really get a better risk-reward ratio. Even in the worst-case scenario where Bitcoin goes up and we've missed the bottom, you're still getting an extremely good risk-reward ratio for your trade. So that's one thing, and that's the invalidation. So that's covered. But what I do want to talk about as well, and this is getting into the more bearish aspect. So just covering that quickly again, even if everything goes south or up, I should say, if everything goes north and everything goes up and our prediction's invalidated, we're still getting a very, very good buy price on Bitcoin, very good invalidation point on Bitcoin. So it's really, a win-win situation in a certain sense. And what I want to talk about as well is the fact that if we're looking at this macro uptrending line, this support line, we can see we're seeing pretty extreme weakness right now. And well, why would I say that? Well, look historically, right? 2015, we saw 1 or 2 candle wicks. We saw 2 weeks of retests. We saw 1 week of retests in 2020. We're currently seeing the 5th consecutive retesting weekly candle of this support line. What does that mean? It means that there's not enough strength like there was in the past to just go down and bounce off of it right away, right? There's not much strength anymore. The market's too indecisive. It's a bit weaker, right? So it's actually showing us, right now on the charts, it's showing us, hey, yeah, we're still holding this macro uptrending support line, but it's a lot weaker than what it was. And that's interesting. That's an interesting note to have. If we're flipping over to short-term charts, well, daily chart, I don't know if you can call that short-term. We do have a bear flag formation. It's not actually a bear flag. You call it a bearish pennant formation, bearish triangle formation after a long drop. That's a bearish pennant formation. Taking a measured move from that formation, we can say that that's going to be predicting a price of, look, all the way down here at 6K on Bitcoin. I don't think we're going to 6K, but it gives you an idea of the structure. The structure is not looking good on Bitcoin for the short term, and that bearish pennant formation will be breaking probably before the end of July because we're coming up on this downtrending resistance line as well, and we need to make a decision before we reach that. We've got an uptrending level on the RSI, which is, look, we will see. This is the thing I like about this kind of thing, right? We will see whether Bitcoin will break down below this bearish symmetrical triangle formation or this bearish pennant formation before it does because of the RSI, right? If we break that RSI uptrend, we're going to break down from that formation. So, like, the daily chart looks bearish, right? The macro time frame is showing us weakness on this support line for the first time in the entire history of Bitcoin. And if it all goes south by some stroke of luck, if it all goes south, I guess you could say some stroke of misfortune, we're still getting extremely good risk-reward ratio or extremely good potential return on investment because we're buying right above the 200-week SMA, which would be the strongest moving average in the entire price history of Bitcoin. So it really is a win-win situation right now. I think a lot of people are overly pessimistic. If we're looking for short term, we've just broken down from an ascending channel formation, and we will probably be coming down to 19,600 for a retest of that zone. That would be the logical move to make. And with that said, and if we do come down to 19,600, what we actually see here is that we would have kind of like almost like a cup and handle. Well, this is a reverse cup and handle formation, to be honest. I only just identified just that just then. We've got a rounding top. Right, rounding top, and then we've got the handle. And so if we're taking a measured move from the top of the cup to the neckline, roughly there, and apply it to the breakout zone, we can actually see that we're actually targeting on this move a retest of 17.5K. Right, so if it's not enough to see that the macro uptrending line is weakening, and it's not enough to see we're at a bearish pennant formation on the daily chart, it should be enough to see that, on the shorter term chart, we've got an inverted cup and handle formation. It's targeting the 17.5k lows. So yeah, no, I don't think the bottom's in, but if it is, it's not actually a bad situation. That's the analysis for Bitcoin, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to look at a few things before we end the video. I highly appreciate it if you stick around. The first thing we're going to look at is, of course, Wolves of Crypto VIP. Go to my YouTube channel, go to the homepage, click the join button. You can gain access to altcoin trading signals, prioritize reply to your comments, a 2-hour video on market psychology, and occasional access to my TradingView charts. The altcoin trading signals is obviously the most important thing there. We've had members make 5 figures, on these trades here. It's only been going for like a month and a half. Posted, I think, 31 trades. Out of the 31, we've got 27 of them, right, that have activated, 26 maybe. And I think out of the 26, this is off the top of my head, I think 21 or 22 of them have been profitable. So the vast majority of trades in there, about 80% of the trades in there have been profitable. And we've got a few ones that are still pending, waiting for that confirmation of a breakout or breakdown. So beautiful stuff in there, and all for the price of $1 per day. You're not going to get much better than that, guys. Highly recommend you join up there. And then also BitGet, my favorite exchange that we use for the VIP channel, and I highly recommend anyone in the Wolfpack, even if you're a free member, free viewer, casual viewer, highly recommend you sign up to BitGet Exchange. Way better than Binance. No scam wicks. They've got systems in place to prevent scam wicks. They've also got futures trading, which isn't available on Binance in Australia. And they've got a non-KYC option, which I cannot overstate the importance of. We go to the futures here, USDT futures on BitGet. We've got a clean little interface. You've got all the coins you can choose from. Here we've got, I don't know how many it is. I think it's 60 or 70 coins. And you can choose from all those coins, which are generally pretty popular coins for trading. I mean, this is made by traders for traders, and that's what I like about the platform. Unlike BitGet, where they just chuck anything on there, even if it's a rug pull. And so pretty, simple interface, very similar to Binance. Half the fees of Binance as well. It's a no-brainer. Sign up to BitGet using my referral link in the description below. And then also we've got the Crypto Academy, Become a Trader, a 10-unit course. We've had a price drop on Become a Trader, right? We've cut the price by 20%. And so if you don't know what the price is, chuck us an email here, right? CryptoAcademyCourses@gmail.com, and we'll chuck you back an email with the price, a pamphlet, information, a video explaining the course, and perfect time to get in. We've just had a price cut for the new financial year, and also what it is. Well, I should probably explain that. 10-unit course going from everything from fundamental concepts all the way through to market patterns, indicators, candlestick formations, market mindset, psychology, advanced risk management, how to find trades, everything you need to know about trading in a 40-hour course, roughly. You'll have unlimited time to complete it, lifetime access once you purchase the course. We've had some great feedback on that, over 100 students, and I haven't heard a bad word about it, to be honest. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.